What's going on, traders? Coach Tiger here with Hola Prime. Getting ready for some quiet markets time. Good morning to you over in Asia, Japan, China, Australia, all the wonderful Asian countries. This is what's on tap for today. It's about almost 8 o'clock Central Time here in the U.S., so we'll give you your morning rundown. So traders, while we are seeing some movement, the markets are continuing to trade in that characteristic August rhythm. Lighter volumes, tighter ranges, and plenty of hesitation before big commitments. The U.S. dollar slide yesterday lacked conviction, with the Dixie finding some support near the 98.10 level. It is a key level to watch today. A break below could target 97.8, while resistance sits at 98.5. Euro US dollar pushes above 1.16, but stalled at 1.165. with 1.168 as the next upside target if momentum returns. Moving on to pound dollar. Pound USD's pre-BOE gains reached 1.337, but it is facing some stiff resistance at the 1.334 level with support at 1.332. Commodity markets mirrored this tentative tone. WTI crude's dip below $64, now trading at about 63.75, finds immediate support at 63.5, with 65 as the first significant resistance. Gold's retreat from 3,360 leaves 3,350 as critical support, while 3,380 remains the upside barrier. Silver's struggle at $38 continues, with 37.5 providing downside protection and 38.5 capping rallies. Metals, they need a catalyst to break these tight ranges. So some key levels to watch today. Moving on to the dollar Japanese yen currency pair, it is remaining range bound between the 147 psych level and the 148 psych level as well. That's 147 for support, 148 for resistance. A breakout either way could signal the next directional move. Moving on to Aussie US dollar, it is trapped below the 0.65 mark, needing to clear 0.652 to gain upside traction. Dollar Canada dollar currency pair, it's sitting at 1.374 level, with 1.37 as support and 1.378 as resistance. These tight ranges reflect the market's indecision. The Bank of England decision could finally spark some GBP volatility. So watch for a test of the 1.34 level on dovish hold, or a drop towards 1.33 if they cut and signal more easing ahead. And at last I checked, they should be dropping it by 25 basis points. That is the projection. So, of course, we'll see how that shapes out. U.S. jobless claims could move the dollar. A miss might pressure the Dixie towards the 98 level, while better numbers could fuel a rebound towards 98.3. What's particularly notable is how technical levels are holding despite fundamental catalysts. The market's refusal to break key support and resistance points shows how summer conditions are damping volatility. Even oil's $3 range yesterday failed to generate follow-through, and gold's $20 range persists despite shifting rate expectations. So with most assets trading at technically significant levels, today's events could finally provide the push needed for a meaningful breakout or reinforce the ongoing ranges. We'll just have to wait and see on that. So watch those key levels I mentioned closely, as breaks could signal the start of more sustained moves as we head toward Friday. Let's prepare for the session ahead with these pivotal technical zones in mind. And then just one last quick look at the economic calendar. Oh yeah, you know what? I totally forgot. I got to add in the other currencies. Give me 1 second. I'm going to give you the filter. Okay, perfect. So for Thursday, we got the British pound, of course, at 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. That is 7 o'clock New York time. That is the BOE statement coming out. Again, the previous mark, 4.25%. They are projecting to drop 25 points to the 4.0 official bank rate. And then an hour and a half later, U.S. dollar does have the unemployment claims, the typical weekly report there. And that's at 8:30 New York time, 8:30 a.m. Previous number on that, 218,000. They are projecting an increase of 3,000 up to 221,000. So as always, we'll just have to see how close they are to accurate, or if they're just like a meteorologist and wrong all the time, right? So we'll see. But that's about all I have. We're going to get into some quiet markets with Coach Darrell. So back to you. Coach D. What's going on,
There
Coach?
you are. What is
Yeah,
up, Coach Tiger? I saw
I was
you,
chuckling.
and then you disappeared, and I wasn't sure what was going on.
I was chuckling because I heard you. You sounded like a horse eating corn, chewing on them chips or whatever you were eating.
Did you hear me the whole time?
Yeah, you have perfect microphone sound.
I know,
Yeah,
but
that
I was. When did you hear me? When you were doing the news?
no, it was beforehand. It was like 7. It was
Yeah,
like
before.
10
Yeah,
minutes ago. I thought I was
yeah. No,
watching
I
one of
was.
those ASMR videos or something where people like to get on their YouTube and have their
I,
channels where you're just
no,
eating stuff
my
with
wife
sound.
just got back. My wife just got back from Costco, and she had these multigrain things that I love. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna grab a handful and go upstairs. And I'm like, because I got to get on stream. And I was sitting there eating them, but I didn't think you'd hear it. That's hilarious.
Crystal clear. That's just funny.
That is funny.
Well,
So how have things been?
Oh, it was great. Going pretty good. Been a little quiet for me this week compared to last week, but yeah, just getting a lot of we had that big drop from the NFP on everything, and then we had some retracements, and it's just kind of diddle in the middle for the way I trade. So I'm just really waiting for some of these markets to start trending so I can hop aboard the choo-choo train. But yeah, a little quiet for me, but how about yourself? How's futures going?
Futures been good. Futures is all week very volatile. And I'll kind of go over a little bit when I explain the daily profile. But I do happen to notice that you must have moved overnight. You went from renting Travis Kelce's pad, the Bachelor pad, to moving to looks like you're on the east side of Manhattan, my friend. Look at that. You got the windows, you got the skyscrapers, Central Park in the back.
Yeah, it's a quick run to the news piece of the studio, back and forth. So I made it. Yeah, I had a bonsai tree behind me yesterday. We were laughing about that. But
I like your backdrop. It's pretty sweet.
Oh, and by the way,
man,
I'm getting ready to buy me just real quick a lava lamp. I was doing some shopping last night because of yours. So that's coming soon.
Well, I want to do a shout out to a newbie in our chat, Puenteor Quadrogo. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but man,
oh,
welcome.
Welcome. Puentare.
Welcome. I have no idea. I don't want to butcher it any worse. So before I get to the charts, and yeah, the market's been open here, folks, for a few hours, but trust me, we will be getting to some business here. You talked about the lava lamp.
Yeah,
I had an idea. We were chatting it up this morning in the future session about getting them. Remember the old magic 8 balls? You'd shake it up, and the little triangle would float up to the top, and you'd ask a question, and it would randomly, whatever it is. So I was telling the boys we should all get one, but it'd be cool if we had it like pre-printed on the inside, like with numbers, like how many contracts or like long or short or something like, well, how should I go right now in the NASDAQ, long or short? And it pops up. So anyway, we're talking about it. Here's Coach Paul. He's like, I already put it in my Amazon cart. I already ordered it.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, I'm sure you could probably personalize them upon request. I'm sure
you probably could. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But by you saying you ordered the lava lamp, I was like, oh yeah, Paul's already getting one of those magic 8 balls.
Well, gosh, that takes me back.
Yeah, let me just do a brief overview of where we're at, and I'm keeping an eye on another screen here because I'm trading my cash account as we speak in the ES, but I haven't taken a trade yet in our session, but I will be today. I will be for sure. So I've changed things up a little bit here since the last time we had a session, but just the majority of the bottom here. This is where we were today. I don't know if I'm sharing anymore. Am I sharing my screen?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see it.
You see my screen?
Yes. With your little circle. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know why I don't see it. That's weird. It just disappeared on me. Anyway, this is what we did all day. Yep. And then here's the overnight. Here's where we're at right now. So what's interesting about this, and I'll go back the last few sessions because, oh yeah, it is up on there. I don't know why I'm not seeing it in
Now looking at your
vMix, but
YouTube
that's okay.
screen, are you?
I'm watching I'm
I've
looking at my YouTube and I'm watching vMix. Okay.
yeah. Oh, okay.
Anyway,
Yeah, I do that.
we opened up this afternoon here in New Zealand, Australia, right? We kind of sold off a little bit. And it's interesting because this is our point of control for today, this pink line.
Mm-hmm.
And once we came down here, we've done nothing but come up and we kind of stuck above. We've stuck above. We kind of retested the high of today, which was, about an hour and a half before we closed for the session for the cash close. And now we're kind of climbing up. So we've been bouncing here. We've got this 1, 2 in a whole little consolidation area. This thing wants to go higher for whatever. I mean, there was a lot of mixed news and reports yesterday or today in the U.S. still. And we were talking about how surprising it was because we had some stuff that came out regarding tariff and trade war. Mm-hmm. We had some stuff come out regarding even Russia, India, and oil and all this kind of crazy stuff that could easily have dropped this market down, right? Mm-hmm. And it did. It did. It was very violent the first hour to hour and a half in the ES. And the Nasdaq was very similar. The Dow didn't look exactly like this, but all three indices did move around quite a bit early on, and then they all melted up and squeezed up for the day. And that's just like we keep talking about this, right? Like it's kind of defying common sense at this point, but I'm not going to fight a market that wants to keep going back up.
Right.
And so here we are. We're pushing higher, and we're 12 points from hitting 6,400 in the ES. And that's a psychological number, and that's it's 100 mark. So that's what I'm looking at. And if we go to what we've done all week, I drop this down here. So I kind of made it so I can see a daily on one, and I can spread out the. Let me just grab this out. Here's my little guy over here. Let's see if I can make it bigger. Oh yeah, I can. Oh, good. Good.
I saw Paul's using that now.
I know. I have no problem with it. I was just teasing him when he was like, "Hey man, use it." This is where we are in the overnight right now. So this yellow profile is what we did in the RTH or regular trading hours today in the US. This is last night's overnight. This is yesterday, Tuesday, and this is Monday. What's interesting though about the behavior in the S&P right now. Let me go back a little bit. Obviously, Friday's sell-off was way down here, right?
Yeah.
It was Friday. We opened up Sunday evening and it did nothing but just rip all the way up. Squeezed all the way up to the high of Friday. Opened up here on Monday. Continued to climb. So we went all the way up. We plateaued over. Yesterday, we fell back down. I mean, it's almost like this U shape. We fall back. What do we do in the overnight? Overnight says, we don't like it down here anymore. Let's go up again. We go up last night, kind of fell back, opened here this morning, jag, up we go. And now we're back up here. So, the sellers are trying to push this down and buyers are saying, we're not ready yet. We want to still probably retest the all-time high. And I'm not going to fight that, right? My job as a trader is strictly to make money. I don't care where it goes. I'm going to try to ride it. So that's kind of where my thoughts are at right now. And I really, let's go back here because I want to get away from today. We go to, see if I can, now this is 1 minute. This is 1 minute chart. I just want to get really kind of stretchy here for you. So that's where we opened up. We opened up right here, 3:00 p.m. my time, 5:00 your time, right? Today. And we've just been here. So our profile looks like this. Our profile is very top heavy. And it's very flat at the top. And it's very, very flat at the high. So that to me is a weak high, meaning that this thing wants to keep going up. Right? And so some of the listeners watching, oh man, what did I just do? Hang on, let me delete some of these guys watching. Oh, I know. I gotta go back to my pointer. You could sit there and say, well, if you think the market's heading in one direction or not, in this case, to the north, and you're convicted, and everything that you're looking at says it's going in a certain direction, why don't you just jump in right now? I can, but technically, what if it only comes up a few points and rolls over? I don't have enough risk reward. I'd like it to come down into this low volume here, which is kind of around the 63.80 to 63.78. And right now it's trading almost at 63.88. So it's got to come down 8 points or so for me. If it drops back down into this low volume, I will probably look to get long. And so that's kind of where I'm going to look while you talk about some of the currencies or whatever else you're looking at. But I'm keeping an eye on this. And if I do take a trade, I will just kind of interrupt you real quick and just say, hey, I'm long.
Yeah.
I don't foresee myself getting short right now. So,
yeah.
Oh, this guy's another. We have a few. Sorry, Tiger. We have a few guys in our chat in the morning that are from Burkina Faso in West Africa.
Oh, okay.
This is a new guy here. So there's like 3 or 4 of you guys. This is awesome. We really appreciate the love, and I don't know how you're finding us, but welcome. And if you have any questions for either Coach Tiger or myself while we're here, we're going to be here for another hour and 45 minutes. Please go ahead and feel free to put that in the chat. But that's kind of where that's where my thoughts are with the ES. And if anyone wants me to look at other features, I certainly can do it. Although I only trade the ES, so I'm not an expert in other instruments.
Yep. Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah. Well, hey, you specialize in what you specialize in, right? That's the beauty of it. You can do what you want. Specialize in one or be good in a lot, right? Be good in a lot or specialize in one. So it really just depends. Right. Yeah, I'm more of the good in a lot, right? I don't really specialize in any one currency pair. I just, especially with being a higher time frame trader, right? I may be lucky to get
most Forex guys they specialize. They need to know a lot of stuff because you can't just stick.
We don't discriminate.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, cool. Well, we'll go ahead and we'll just go on over to my chart then. Yeah, just interrupt me if you get you a signal there.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
As my chart's coming up, I'll just kind of go over what I'm looking at from a fundamental perspective. As always, everybody in the chat, I always kind of start my analysis from the fundamental side first. I want to know where the big banks and institutions are positioned, which that's a COT report that comes out obviously Friday afternoons, usually around 3 or 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. So that's typically what I'm doing on Sunday is kind of dissecting that report. Use Sunday and really most of Monday to kind of formulate what my game plan is. So after all is said and done, looking at my top setups I've got right now, it's really I tell you what, I've actually got a thinner list than I've had in the last couple of weeks. Had a lot of my very bullish and very bearish currencies and indices just kind of contract a little towards the neutral. So currently I do have 4 let me see. 1, 2. I've got 2 currency pairs that I'm keeping my eye on for the bullish side, and then I've got 2 indices. So I've got the Nikkei, which is leading the way on the way I score my system, as a very bullish bias, and then behind that, I've got the Euro Aussie dollar, I've got the Euro pound, and then I've got the Nasdaq. So that's really the top 4 bullish setups, and that's it. Flipping on over to the bearish side. Pound Japanese yen and pound Swiss franc are the 2 leading most bearish pairs I'm looking at. Dollar Japanese yen is in there as well. And then I'm also looking to potentially short pound CAD, Aussie Japanese yen, Euro Japanese yen, and then Aussie Swiss, New Zealand yen, pound New Zealand. So that's 9 bearish pairs I'm looking. And as always, especially since we got some first time viewers on here, essentially what I do when I'm looking at the economic data is if it's a report that's come out like the GDP, the inflation reports, the employment numbers, interest rates, that kind of thing, if it beats expectations, it gets a +1 in my book. If it misses expectations, it gets a -1. So I do that for about 10, 12 different economic reports. I do the same thing for sentiment. Okay, I'm looking, what did the big banks buy this on last Friday's COT report, or did they sell? All right, did they add to their net long or net short positioning? So I look at that. I look at retail positioning as well. If retail traders are net short on an asset, then I look at that as a contrarian signal and look to score a point for the long side. Okay, so after all of that is said and done and everything's calculated and added up, the Nikkei is giving me the strongest score on the bullish side at a 9. So anything 5 or higher, I consider bullish. Anything -5 or lower is bearish. So that +4 to -4 range, that's more neutral. I just avoid those. I stay away from them because I only want to see and trade something that's giving me a bullish or a bearish bias. Okay, so that's my 30,000-foot view of the economic analysis of these assets. So yeah, Nikkei +9, the Euro odd, the NASDAQ, and the Euro pound is a +5. So those three are just barely making the cut, right? But they are bullish because it's a 5 or higher. And then the pound Japanese yen and the pound Swiss, those are the two strongest, very bearish scores at -10. So the British pound, it's been one of the weaker currencies lately. In fact, I need to actually go take a quick look at my Eco Surprise Meter to get an update of where we stand. And I'll probably just throw this on the chart just so everybody can see. Yeah, let me do that. So I'm going to go over here.
We're not seeing your chart, by the way. If you want to share it, we're not seeing it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead, back in, flip onto my chart, and we'll take a look at a couple things here real quick. Okay, perfect. So yeah, so let me copy and paste this real quick. Yeah, this one asset, this one little report is the first thing I look at every single day, and I look at it multiple times a day because it's quite the dynamic list. So let me just move it on over here. I'm just going to throw this up here. And then, of course, sometimes when I try to copy and paste, it doesn't want to paste. Come on. I went through this problem yesterday or the other day. Why does it not want to copy and paste? I don't understand this. Sorry, bear with me just one second.
You're fine. You're
copy.
Totally fine.
Okay, snipping tool. Oh my gosh. And the funny thing is, it'll be on a chart somewhere and I'll find it the next day.
That's always how it is.
Well, my goodness. All right, well, we're going to skip that. So basically, when I look at these currencies, I kind of look at it like a speedometer, right? Basically, anything that's if it's 40% to 60% where those reports were higher than expectations, I kind of avoid those. So really, anything 60 or above. Long story short, the strongest currencies I have right now. And it's kind of surprising because it just shifted. But the Canada dollar is sitting at 83%. What does that mean? Well, if a report missed expectations or exceeded expectations, it's on the list. If I get a neutral report where they met expectations perfectly, which we all know that doesn't happen very often because economists are like meteorologists, they get the numbers wrong all the time, right? So whenever they miss or exceed a report, that's what goes onto my scale. So anyway, long story short, Canada dollar, 83% of reports have exceeded expectations. That is officially the strongest currency I'm looking at. New Zealand dollar right behind it, 75%. Euro and the Japanese yen individually are at 71. So any chance I get to buy one of those currency pairs, I'm going to buy it. Well, what do I want to sell in place or add to it as the base currency? Well, obviously a weak currency.
Right.
So the weakest currency I'm looking at right now is the Aussie dollar. It's only exceeded 38% of expectations. So I use that to just go to the charts and look to try to find a trade. So first one on my list is the Nikkei. I'm going to look at that one first. So let's go take a look over here at Nikkei. This is one I had a small winner on last week. Nothing too crazy, but we've been kind of trending up nicely ever since April. Let me see here. Oh, I'm on my weekly chart. No wonder. Yeah, since April, Nikkei, just like all the other indices, been up pretty well. Post tariff scare, right? Liberation Day. After that happened, everything's been kind of going up nicely. just looking at it on a long-term basis. But yeah, typically I start with a daily time frame, look at my overall trend, and then I like to find demand zones on an uptrend on a 4-hour chart. That's where I love to do it. So, I mean, immediately I've got an area down here, right here in this area. So it's basically the origin of a strong move up, right? And as you can see, looked like that one hit while I was asleep. So there we go. Price came down, collected unfilled orders, and started shooting upwards. So that would have been a good trade. I miss a lot of trades when I sleep. That's the trading gods laughing at me, right? Because they now know that
you can't catch them all. You can't catch them all.
Can't catch them all. Can't catch them all. But yeah, there's a great example right there. Okay, origin of a strong move up. We see that candle. We got a nice fair value gap coming out of that. That shows strength to me. So I like that. I like to see that above demand zones or below if it's a supply zone, right on the opposite end, just showing that zone is strong. So there's a great example right there where that would have been a good entry. So what do I have currently? Well, let's see here. It looks like we've kind of broken this little downtrend, if you will, just like a more recent downtrend. So that's good. I kind of need that to prove itself, but it is giving me bullish fundamentals. So from here, this is where I could start kind of going down to some smaller time frames and see if I can find a zone. So here's another one here. But I don't really care for this particular demand zone. I mean, it is a strong move out. Why don't I like that? Well, it's kind of in the middle of this retail chop zone right here, right? Just kind of that area there where it's retail traders, because if it was an institution, it would push it up or down, right? So a move like that very well could have been the institution. It's a big expanded range candles. They're not playing around in here, right? So there's another zone down here. So we could potentially wrap a rectangle around this one and move it forward. I always color my demand zones green, supply zones red. So the idea is with this retail chop zone, when there's buying going on in here, buyers pushing up, they're putting their stop losses where? Below the range, right? So if they're putting their stop losses below the range, they're putting it right in this demand zone. So essentially what I'd love to see is just price to come on back down, scoop up that for a buy to the long side. And, and it's also we also got that little downtrend line that I kind of put in as well. So that'd be a good little bit of confluence right there on a 1 hour time frame. But yeah, just looking at that zone again, strong move up, right? And that's after, of course, the rollover, the intraday rollover. So from yesterday, rather, not today, but yesterday. So yeah, and then of course I'm going to put me an alert right there just so that I do not forget. If it weren't for alerts, Daryl, I don't know what I'd do with myself. The first 5-6 years I traded, I didn't have any platforms where they had good alerts, a good alert setup.
Yeah.
So I was always missing trades, but thank God that we have them now. So yeah, again, contraction, expansion up, expansion down, because they like to hunt liquidity, right? The big banks, the institutions. So liquidity hunt up top, push it down, liquidity hunt down bottom. They're pushing up here to mess with the retail traders, and they're pushing price down because they know that their buy orders, those retail buy orders, their stop losses are what? They're sell orders. So when price comes down, the big banks collect those sell orders along with these unfilled orders to fill their buy orders to push price up. So that's essentially, in a nutshell, what I do. Just a very simple explanation. So yeah, that's the yen or the Nikkei. What else have I got here? Yeah, Euro pound paid me really well on Friday, Daryl. I had a good old time with Euro pound. I got into the so I got into that trade on Wednesday. Let's go find this thing. And then we had NFP come out. So yeah, you can see where I put the retail chop zones. I put no loitering. That tells me not to buy or sell in that area because I don't want to get chopped to pieces. So that's just my fun little way of reminding myself. But yeah, we had that NFP on Friday. So before the NFP report came out, let me see. I'm going to make this a little bigger screen just so I can see it easier. Okay, Friday was, yeah, right here. So on Friday, I ended up getting into this demand zone here. If I just pull that forward. So that was the zone that I ended up getting in. I bought into a trade here, pushed up, and before NFP came out, I had a decision. Well, do I want to change? At that point, I had a 1-to-1 profit, just a tiny one. I typically like to go for 3-to-1s, 4-to-1s personally. But when it went to 1-to-1, I went ahead and moved my stop loss up to a little above break even, enough for my cup of coffee, right? Worst case scenario.
Right.
So
Exactly.
before that NFP came out, I just made the decision, well, I'm going to keep it open. I'm not worried about going down. I got a free cup of coffee, worst case scenario. But then sure enough, it just started going crazy. Now I buy from typically 4-hour zones, but like I was telling the fellas on the stream the other day, I turned into a scalp trader real quick, right? Because I didn't want to lose out on any of those. So just going back on the 1 minute time frame here. Let's see, 6. Where was that at? Oh, I need to go to Friday. Friday. Where you at, Friday? Okay, right here. Yeah, so basically I was just kind of eyeballing this thing. Yeah, here's an NFP right here, that 1 minute candle. So yeah, once it got that initial spike, I moved my stop loss below this range. And then we had another little pullback. Price broke that range. I put my stop loss under this. Price came down, broke the range. I ended up moving my stop loss under here. There's about an hour and a half after. So this was after our stream. And then, yeah, every time a new high was made, I just kept trailing my stop loss up. And I ended up finally, getting stopped out right here because I had my stop loss in this area. So, yeah, it was a really nice trade. It was a $2,150 to $40 trade, I think it was, something like that. On my other broker, it was like 300 something bucks on the GUI trades account they give us. But yeah, it made my week. I mean, sometimes one trade's all it takes. But yeah, I did all that just from simple buying and supply and demand zones, right? Like I had down here. Retail chop, that's fair value essentially when you're looking at it from a retail perspective. Well, price moves up, banks are pushing price down. They're collecting liquidity, push down. Take these stop losses, which are sell orders, taking these orders over here, which are unfilled orders, combining that to buy the long side. So that's essentially how I do it. And then, yeah, when I get into a big profit, I just turn into a scalper real quick. I just get on a 1 minute, 5 minute time frame or 15, depending on what the situation is, and just kind of trail that stop up. So I'd love to get back into this trade since it's already paid me once. I mean, I am keeping an eye. I have an alert set. Again, this is my 4-hour chart. So I've got an alert at 0.8672 at the moment, just kind of keeping an eye on this. I believe it was a 1-hour time frame. Yeah, so I got a 1-hour demand zone here. I love the volume spread analysis candles all the way at the bottom. Look at that. I got 3 red candles. So on VSA, just so everybody understands, obviously in Forex trading, we don't have the centralized volume that we can really track like you do, like Coach Darryl does with his futures or stocks.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So I kind of have to get a little bit on the creative side in currency land. So what I do is I use the VSA indicator, the volume spread analysis indicator. If you're on TradingView, you just simply go into your indicators and just type in VSA, and it'll show up. Where's it at? Right in front of it. Right here. Volume spread for VSA. That's this one that's highlighted. Looks like 5,000 users. So, but essentially what that does is it's not showing me volume down here. It's basically showing me activity. Right. So if you see a green candle, let me just isolate that. If you see a green candle, that's your normal average relative activity relative to the previous X amount of candles, right? Most recent candles. When you see blue, that's lower than relative normal activity. The yellow is elevated, so that's above normal. And then when you see a red candle, that's extreme. That means typically you got the big banks, the institutions, the ones that are, putting millions of dollars on the line for their trades. That's typically who's doing those types of candles, right? So when I see those candles show up at a demand zone, or obviously that, the leg out candles like we've got in this case, yeah, buddy, I'm going to be keeping an eye on it. Big banks already moved it once. They might be moving it again. So that tells me there's probably unfilled orders in that area. And also, good demand zones for me are 1 to 3 candles max in that basing activity. So like we got 1 candle, 2 candles. You could call that a third candle, but this green candle here would kind of be my leg in. So I got a leg in candle and then 1, 2, 3 basing candles before the leg out. So that's important for me. If I'm seeing 6, 7 candles in this range, between the leg in and leg out candles, that's just too much time. Chances are most of, if not all, those unfilled orders are going to be taken. Right. So that's something that I use to qualify a demand or supply or a demand zone right there. So 3 or less candles, expanded range candle, fair value gap coming out, all those things I use to kind of qualify my zones. And then obviously avoiding the ones inside of these retail chop zones, right? Those, no matter how good that supply or demand zone might look, I avoid it because I want to buy undervalue where the institutions are creating zones and pushing high. So that's kind of an outline of the way I look at zones. Did you have something, Daryl?
Well, I was gonna let you do your thing. I'm gonna just take a minute and remind or inform the people in the chat that we are actually going to be giving away a $25,000 challenge account in this session. So this is a very easy thing to put yourself in a chance to win. In order to qualify and in order to be available for random selection, you need to do a few things. You need to subscribe to this channel, which if you're in here, you should already be subscribed. You need to subscribe to our Hola Prime Global YouTube channel. You need to comment here in the chat. So you can, if you don't comment, we don't know that you're actively engaged in watching us. And then you also need to make sure that you have an active email address placed into your YouTube bio somewhere, usually going into getting into your account and going into editing your account and putting it into the description is a good place to have it. And if you do those 3 things, you will automatically qualify to be randomly selected to win a $25,000 challenge account, which we will announce. Coach Tiger and I will be announcing probably towards the end of the session in about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes from now. We're going to be going on for another hour and 25, but we'll do it before the end. So stay tuned for that. And please make sure that you subscribe to our channels. You can also subscribe to our Instagram channels and our Discord channels. We've got Hola Prime Futures, Hola Prime Regular in Discord, and Hola Prime Crypto, or Hola Prime X is what we're calling it. So lots of ways to get information, to have customer support, to get feedback from us coaches. Even when we're not live streaming, we are active in Discord. We are very attentive to our viewers and our clients. We really appreciate all the support we're getting. And we're new in futures and we're relatively new in North America, but we've been around for over a decade around the world in other continents. So I think you'd be very pleasantly surprised to trade with us and join us. So we welcome you giving us a chance to earn your business.
Absolutely.
So I just wanted to get that off. I just wanted to mention the giveaway before we got too far into this.
Yeah, we've been passing them out like hotcakes. So tell us hello, tell us a lie, pick on Coach Daryl for looking like Mr. Clean, complain, or pick on me for being a hillbilly. Right. I mean, whatever you want to say, we don't care. We just like good banner and good conversation. So yeah, especially if you have any,
it's the best.
Charts
yeah, it's the best.
See. Yeah, it's the best.
It's the best.
Yep. So
Mr. Clean, they have an emoji. The boys and girls with Iris that I trade with in the morning sessions. Yeah. And, oh my God, they can't find any. I don't know. I haven't looked at the emojis. I thought I looked at them all. The only bald-headed person they find is a little baby. So they keep making me a little baby, which is funny. I'll go with it.
Well, the best thing to do is just, yeah. Excuse me.
You can edit
the best
it.
thing to do. just go to Google Images or Yahoo Images. That's all I do. I just type in
and drag
whatever,
one in
screenshot
and
it, and
drag it
copy
in.
it in there. Yep.
That's how you got your what? No trespassing or whatever that said.
Yeah. 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 No
That's good.
loitering. And then
No loitering.
Coach
That's right. No
Michael.
loitering.
Yeah, Coach Michael yesterday was talking about an inverted head and shoulders. Oh, I found my market, by the way. But he was talking about this being an inverted head and shoulders, except the head was real tiny, so it reminded me of the Beetlejuice characters. So, of course,
There
I
you
had to
go.
put that
That's
little
right.
character on there, right? Just imagine he's upside down. So, just silly stuff like that. Trading can be boring, right?
Exactly.
But you got to make it
Yeah.
interesting. It's fun.
We
So,
got to make it
all
fun,
right.
man. We got to.
Yeah. So,
John 316, welcome to the chat tonight. Good to have you back. The ticker I trade
hello.
day or night anywhere is the ES because I'm an ES junkie and I've been trading the ES for over a dozen years. So I trade the ES. It's what I watch all the time, and I'm looking to get into a trade here if it gives me a pullback so I can go long. We are creeping up to 6,400 in the ES slowly but surely. So I want to get a little bit of risk reward. I don't want to jump in and front run this thing right now. So I've been watching it for the last 3.5 hours since the market's been open. We kind of came down and we opened right around point of control for the RTH US session. We came down a little bit. Actually, we came down to where the overnight low was, and then. No, I'm sorry. That's not the that's our current overnight low. We came down just a little bit below point of control and then just kind of squeezed up. So we're above the high of today in the RTH. And
you said you're looking at 6,400.
It's ticking higher as we speak, and I still can't get in, which is a little frustrating.
Oh, okay.
But I trade the ES. If I do trade at night, I will trade the ES all the time.
Right on.
And
Yeah,
Tiger,
I mean,
he's an
as
animal.
far as
Tiger trades everything. Tiger trades everything.
If it's got a pulse, right? Yeah. I mean, I trade all the currency pairs. So there's 27, 28 pairs I pay attention to. The reality is I probably trade just a little less than half of them. I track everything, but I just personally like to stick with stuff that moves. I don't typically like to trade slower moving ones. So I keep an eye on the ATR indicator. If it's ideally 70, 80 pips or higher movement in a day, that's what I like. That's what I like the most myself. So just my now I say that, Daryl, but obviously the euro pound paid me really well and it only moves about 40 pips. Right. So I'll still trade those lower ATR pairs. Plus the pip value is obviously, worth more. And I will say, I kind of enjoyed that, to be honest with you, last week. I mean, it's been a while since I've traded that pair. It's a little, I feel like it was a little more predictable because the higher the ATR, the more volatile it can get at times. So I don't know. I might rethink that. So basically, I don't discriminate, right? If I get a good looking supply or demand zone, going with the trend, it's low on the curve, high on the curve, depending on what I'm doing, buying or selling.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'll definitely keep an eye, but ultimately what dictates what I'm trading is that top setups with the fundamental, the economic data and the sentiment. So that's always what I look at first. I don't even look at a chart until I get a bullish or a bearish. Yeah, bullish or bias. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. If I get a bullish or bearish bias, that's when I look at the chart.
Tongue twister. That's a tongue twister, though. Man, that's a real tongue twister.
Yeah. That was the first.
When you were going over your pairs about 10 minutes ago. I don't know if this affects the Aussie dollar for you, but we had some reports that came out about the Australian trade balance. This is interesting, man. This is a big number. Forecast at 3 billion. Previous was 2.23 billion, and actual came out at 5.365 billion. So, man, 75% higher, and exports exceeded. They, I think, previous was negative 2.7% on exports. It came out at 6% plus, and imports were. It's really weird, man. Imports were 3.8% previous, and actual is negative 3.1. So 100 total swing opposite on that one. So their exports are jumping up big time. Their imports are down. I have a feeling this has a lot to do with the trade war and the tariffs, and they're just getting ahead of things here. And other countries are buying a lot of raw materials, other stocks, and everyone's just trying to load up on raw materials and inventory. So that probably has a lot to do with it. But I don't know if that affects the Aussie dollar with relation to any other currency.
Well, let's look at the Aussie futures real quick.
Out.
Yeah, I don't really pay attention to that report because it's more of a yellow folder or a low impact event. With big numbers like that, you would think it would have a little more gusto, but just looking at the futures market, it didn't really move that much. Not yet, anyway. Aussie, still at the Aussie. Yeah, Aussie 5-minute time frame. Aussie dollar. It didn't really move it a whole lot. Doesn't look like.
That's good.
Oh, I think I found my strength meter.
We got China news later on. I think right when we're getting off the stream with balance of trade and imports and exports year over year for China is going to be released. So that will be interesting to watch also. But that'll be right when we're signing off. So just something to mention to anyone that's trading that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I typically I pay attention, obviously, to the high impact, but I usually just pay attention to the middle and medium impact too. Because sometimes when you get 2 or 3 of those reports together, if they're bullish or bear, or if they're good or bad, it can collectively kind of act like one red folder event. So I don't typically get down to the yellow, but I have actually kind of reevaluated that lately, because there are some reports that I pay attention to on my Edge Finder that is factored in with the algorithm piece. So, but they're yellow folders. So I'm starting to dig a little bit deeper into them. But typically it's the red and the orange folder, high and middle impact. But this is that currency surprise meter I was trying to pull up earlier. I pasted it, but it went to a completely different currency.
We're not sharing your screen anymore. They're on me, but we can move back to you. So.
Oh, okay.
We can move. Let's move back to you, and then I'm not doing anything. I mean, this thing keeps climbing up, but I haven't gotten in. And I was only going to address John 316 because he was asking me how many contracts I usually go with. I scale in and I scale out, but usually I'll enter with 2 ES contracts, and I'll go up, add 1 or 2 more. So I'm usually in 3 to 5 contracts when I trade.
Yeah, and then to finish. For me, so the currency pairs, and then I have over the last couple of years, I've gotten into indices myself, a little bit of gold, a little bit of silver, and Bitcoin. So that's kind of where I sit currently. Sure, I'll expand more in the future, into futures actually, because I'm probably going to start playing around with that. Penny stocks as well. All right, we all have that guilty pleasure song we like to listen to at 2:00 in the morning. That guilty pleasure activity we like to do, right? So I like to play around in penny stock land too when nobody's looking. It's actually quite fun because breakout trades work actually quite well there because it's nothing but retail traders. You don't typically have the big banks and institutions playing in penny stocks. They can't even get their orders filled. So I will say it is kind of an entertaining. But anyway, here's that currency meter I was talking about. Again, this just shows like Aussie dollar, for example, 38% of the recent reports, so within the last month and a half, have beaten expectations. So that's basically saying 62% have been under expectations. So that makes it a weaker currency when you're looking at the economic performance, in that aspect. So, and then currently Canada dollar at 83%. So Canada dollar has made a big jump because it was one of the weaker currencies just last week. It was under like 40%. So it's pretty well doubled. So dollar sitting right there in the middle, right? 54%. So anything between 40% and 60%, I just look at as more neutral. They can swing either way. That's why I put more credence in anything that's 60% or higher. So the euro and the Japanese yen buy at 71, New Zealand dollar or by itself actually at 75. So that's what I'm essentially looking to do is match up a strong currency with a weak currency and see if we can find a trade. So New Zealand Aussie dollar currency pair would be a really good opportunity. So actually, I'm going to take a look at that. It's not officially on my top setups page because of sentiment and technicals, but because it's the strongest, let's just go take a look at that. So Aussie New Zealand, I'm sorry. It was on my list yesterday. Daily time frame. Yeah, just another retail fair value area, right? So I don't really want to trade anything in this area if I just kind of push that out forward. Now we do have a little bit of a demand down here. But again, I'm not looking for Aussie strength. I'm looking for New Zealand strength. So I'd be wanting to short sell this thing, if anything. Looking ahead. So up here, I have a yellow rectangle that represents my daily supply zone. So that's my last green candle up. The last green candle up before the decline, big decline, right? So that's what the orange, that's what the orange rectangle is. Pull that forward. The one inside is a 4 hour. I believe that's a 4 hour. Let me go back in time here. Yeah. So I got a 4 hour candle, right? Turn my drawings off. That's a 4 hour. That's a big, that's a last green candle up before the big decline. So that's within the daily. That's confluence. That's what I like to see right there. Love to see 4 hour zones within a daily zone. That's just a really, really good probability. Nothing is 100% guaranteed, as always. No system is perfect, but I just find a lot of success trading in those zones with confluence. So yeah, I'm gonna. Oh dang it, I just messed it up. So I'm gonna pull that forward. Go back here and get my distal line online there, and I'm gonna put an alert. There we go. I'm gonna put an alert right here at the proximal line of the zone. I'm just going to put that out a week or so, just to keep tabs on it. Again, it's not technically in my, let's see here. It's not technically in my top setups page yet. It's more neutral. But you know what? When I have the strongest currency paired with the weakest currency, and I might be selling above value, above retail value, fair value, that's a high probability. So I don't really care about this zone. I more care about this one up here. So that's what I'd be looking to potentially trade. Now, that's not necessarily going to happen today, but maybe within the next couple of days or so. I was looking at this 4 hour zone for a little while, but again, I didn't take it because it fell back to neutral. And I like this confluence even better anyway. So that's really what I spend my days doing, ladies and gents, is just qualifying supply and demand zones. That's the bulk of what I do on a chart. Hey, am I in a chop zone? If so, I'm going to get chopped to pieces if I trade it. So avoid that. Look for those higher level, stronger, institutional levels of supply and demand. That's it right there. That's what I've had the most success doing, right? Personally, not necessarily for everybody, but this is just the way that my brain works and sees unfilled orders. So yeah, let's see. Let's take a quick look at just these two most bearish pairs, and then I can pass it back to you if you like. See what you're up to there. But I do have pound Japanese yen.
I missed an entry, but I'm waiting. I wanted to pull back a couple points, and I will get long. I'm patiently waiting to get long here.
Okay, well, I'll blitz through this real quick. We'll pass it on over.
Yeah, keep going. Once I'm in, I'm just going to sit. It's not going to be exciting. Trust me. I'm not scalping this thing today.
Yeah. Like watching paint dry, right? Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, pound yen. That's the most bearish pair I have, -10. So do got this retail zone here. Price kind of went up, collected some liquidity, went down, collected some liquidity. Came back up again before finally finding its little trend leg. So basically, I'm just looking to kind of look at like a fib level on this. Got a 61.8 level here. So I set an alert just ahead of it. So I'd love to see it just wick right through that 61.8 right into this 1 hour supply zone right here. Love that zone because look at the volume spread analysis candles all the way at the bottom. You got a yellow one, you got a couple of red ones on those leg out candles. That's nothing but strength. Excellent, pretty good fair value gap coming out of that as well. So that shows strength. You got two fair value gaps. You got one there and you got one there. So loving that. So yeah, same thing here. Oops. Now let's just delete that. I don't need it. Go back here. So yeah, let's just throw my projection tool up here. Now so this is actually a great place to explain the master pattern. What's the master pattern? Well, this is really just the practice of finding a fair value area and then looking for expansion legs on either side in order to see where that manipulation is starting to happen from an institutional point of view. So you see I put some boxes. I put a couple of red boxes up here. I put a couple of green boxes down here. Yeah. So essentially what I'm looking at is, in fact, I need to, let's see here. I need to adjust a setting on this real quick. Let's change that to 300. Give me a few more history, a little bit more history. There we go. So what this is, let me look at one thing real quick.
Frickin' ES.
Is it being a mule?
Keep going. No, keep going. It just wants to keep ticking up, and it's not giving me any opportunity. There's a low volume area. I just wanted to come back. Just come back a few points so I can get in. Sorry.
All right.
It's all right.
Okay, so basically on the master pattern, what it's doing is looking for a point where price kind of consolidated sideways, which on this pound yen, let me see here. Okay, right here. Sorry, I keep going back and forth. So we had this contraction box here where price went sideways. Okay, it kind of went sideways at base, and then finally price moved down. Well, when prices move down, the buyers step in and push price back up. So they leave their stop losses underneath, right? They push price up and go above the contraction box before the banks push it the other way. Well, short sellers have to put their stop losses somewhere. They put them here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this process just kind of repeats. The point is, for traders watching at home, they like to confuse the retail traders into getting them to sell and then to buy and to create liquidity, which is their stop losses on both sides of it. So that's essentially what I drew up here. Go back to a 1 hour time frame just to make it easier. So yeah, there's liquidity for buy orders, which is a sell order. There's liquidity for sellers, which are buy orders. So their goal is just to kind of push price just a little bit lower each time to collect that liquidity, push price back up just a little bit higher to collect it on the top side. And that process goes until they finally confuse them enough and fill their order on a longer time frame before finding a trend leg. So for me, for pound Japanese yen, well, we got an option down here, right? This smaller time frame demand zone and a higher time frame demand zone. And then we've got the options up here for selling it. Well, this is a bearish bias currency pair, so I only want to sell. I only have permission to sell. I don't have permission to buy according to my personal rules. So because all this manipulation is happening, I essentially want to find, price to go up, find a smaller time frame supply zone, and then get into the trade, and then buy to cover, before this lower time frame demand zone down here. So that's just an example of how you start getting that fanning out of price action, so to speak. Fanning out upwards, fanning out downwards. Anytime you guys see that, it doesn't matter really what the asset is, so long as it's a high liquid asset, right? I'm not going to use this when I'm trading my penny stocks necessarily, right? But when it's something that's got a lot of liquidity, when you see that fanning out action to the top side, the fanning out action to the bottom side, that's all that is just the banks creating liquidity so they can finally get enough to fill their order and then, take price the way they want. But ultimately, they want to catch unfilled orders in a supply zone, in this example, which I'm speculating would be right here. Now, again, I'm not always right, and no system is perfect, but it happens quite often. It's a high probability that when price comes up here, find me a bearish engulfing candle, find me a candle with a tail on the wick with excellent volume spread candles on the bottom. Hey, that's a high probability, low risk setup. So that's essentially what I'd be looking for the pound yen because of the bearish fundamentals. I said a lot. That's a lot of a mouthful, but it works pretty well. So works pretty well.
It's good, man. You need to describe what I'm looking at. That thing looks like, part of it looks like a masterpiece of contemporary art. The other part looks like, how to make money.
Yeah, that's essentially it. Here's another. Yeah, I mean, here's another good example.
Since you've been yapping it up, I entered my trade, so I finally got that off my chest. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, I'll just take one last look at pound Swiss since that's my second strongest.
Do what you got to do. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Now this is what's the ATR of this thing? I can't remember. 72 pips. Okay. So this one just makes the cut. But yeah, this is another bearish one. Obviously, we've had the longer term downtrend, sideways trend for the last bit of time. But we are starting to get those legs fanning out. So I want to personally avoid the chop zone here. Let's go back up here. So avoid that chop zone, and I want to sell above the fair value. Well, where can I do that? There's a supply zone right here. It's a good zone. Got a lot of red candles coming out. Shows me that there's some conviction in that zone there. So I got my alert set over here. But yeah, I just want to start seeing that manipulation happen and then come up, take that sucker short, which would be the 1.0807 level. So the 1.08 level. But yeah,
beautiful.
That's the basis of it. I got some others I could show, but I'd rather see what you got going on at the moment. If you wanted to show us your magic sauce there, Coach D.
Oh yeah, the magics, the crazy sauce. Yeah, we can show my screen here, and glad to be in a contract or in a trade here. So wait till my screen comes up.
I was studying big central bank intervention today, like currency intervention. I think I'm going to speak on that for my Forex Fire show in the morning. Pretty interesting stuff, man. When you see how prices move when they intervene, stick $60 billion into the market.
I know. Well, you got bond auction tomorrow, right? And a 10-year bond auction or something. It could be wild. It could be very wild. 100 billion that just matched. So anyway, this is the ES, and I've just kind of blown things up here. This is only from. Well, this is most of the bit. Is this? Yeah, but this is just doesn't matter. Anyway, what I'm trying to show is we kept climbing up, right? This orange line is our high of the session at about 63.91 3/4, and I wanted to pull back because when it's going up like this and keeps getting higher and higher, I want to see a better place to enter. There was this low volume right here that I was waiting on, and I didn't think we'd get to it. We did come down, and I entered too long right here. And if we start to go up, I may add to it. We went up a little bit, and we've just come back down. So we're sitting right here. I've got like a 4-point stop. I typically do a 5-point stop, but it doesn't really matter. I put my stop at an outside edge. So this is not the entire profile of what we've experienced so far in the overnight. But so here's our high of the session. We've got this, kind of little distribution forming, and then we've got this other one coming out here, and we just, we got a little bit like this. But this part, let me switch back. This kind of gives me a little outer edge. This is our point of control. Mm-hmm. So this is right here. So I'm looking, if I'm going to put a stop, I don't want to put a stop here. This is like common popular retail price. There's a lot more volume traded in this area than obviously been here or up here or down here, right? So I don't want to put a stop here because prices tend to mean revert and come back and test, right? I trade with auction market theory as kind of my underlying fundamental. Then I go to the volume profile, and then I consider other target areas. But I'm fully discretionary at this point. I trade this product only, and I know what I want to see, and I just react and I enter trades, and I trade a lot and I just enter. So I don't want to put a stop here and run the chance of getting picked off only to see it come down, do a stop pick, and then turn back up in my favor, right?
Yeah.
So I want to put it out of the area, out of the danger zone a bit, and I'm comfortable with 4 points. If it goes down here, I'm out $400. I'm comfortable with that. And then I have my take profit currently at a sentimental number just over the 6,400. Now, there's a lot of liquidity at 6,400 right now. There is over 320 contracts sitting there. How do I know that? I know that from some other software that I use. And in the book, if you go up here on the depth of the market, you will see it sitting on the offer. Okay. So if price tends to go towards that. Why do I have my stop at 6,400 and 3/4? I mean, I can move it to 6,401. I'll just put it up 6,401. Anywhere over 6,400. I can leave it at 6,400. But again, people that have sold at 6,400 on the way down or have bought have stops on both sides of that number. So when price gets up here, if it gets up here, kind of like what you were saying earlier, Tiger, it will do a nice little, usually kind of an exhaustive move or some sort of just a real fast kind of squeeze move. Take up the stops and it could come down. I want to get into that. I want to exit into that buy. So I want to sell into the buy. I want to buy into the sell. So as it was coming down here, I bought into the selling. And as I take if it gets to my take profit, now I will trail this. If it gets up here, I'll be trailing pretty close. So I may get out with a profit on the trail, but if it does get to my take profit, I'll leave it here and I'll get it on the way as the buyers are ripping through, if that makes sense. So I'm just putting it to areas where I think there'll be a high probability of engagement, market participation. Yeah. And that's all I do. It has nothing to do with an average true range, a MACD, convergence, divergence, a Fibonacci level, any of that. I don't use any of that. I'm strictly looking at auction market theory and how and where things and where price has reacted before and what's gone on. So if you see now that I go out, it's harder to see here, but what I just drew in this blue, oops, let me pick up my little pointer. Let me get it bigger so you can see. All this little kind of profile I did here off to the side, it's barely showing up on the side, right? It's small compared to what we did in the regular US session today. But I don't care because we're not trading this right now. We're trading the overnight right now. I'm only looking at this. Yeah. You know what I mean? So also one thing to note, looking at the daily, let me just get rid of this whole thing. Looking at the daily, where's the 6,400? Up here. I got to go back. All right. So where's my little pointer? Can I get it big? Yes, I can get it big. All right. So 6,400 is right here. This is my take profit, right? The top green one at 6,401, but 6,400 is right here in this low volume. So obviously, the very top of this profile, I have ATH, all-time high. I marked it up. All-time high was hit on last Wednesday. Was it Wednesday? Wednesday overnight, I believe.
31st?
Anyway, 30th, I think. 31st. Oh. 31st overnight. So that's the all-time high. Profile's coming down, and we've got a low area. Low area at 6,400. And it's only low here because price didn't hang around. It was moving all the way up to make new all-time highs. And there's been a lot of activity down below here, right? Got a lot of activity down here. So I'm putting my stops and my take profits at places where, it's not greedy. It's not overly lofty. It just makes sense based on where things have been trading recently. And that's
It looks like
part
the
of
low
the,
volume node. Is that right? Like where you're
yeah,
lower volume node. That's where you're doing your buys and
yeah.
sells.
What,
Yeah.
Yeah, but not always. I don't always have to do that. I could put a take profit at
Okay.
a high volume too. I just happen to put it at
Correct.
6,400. Could it go higher? Yeah, it could go up to like 6,410 where there's a lot of high volume right here. But and look, if it's coming up in a hurry, I'll move my take profit. Also, I could keep moving it up because if it does some sort of if it just rips, I want to kind of benefit from that, right? So that's really
Nice.
just, it's simple. It's just what I do, but it's simple and it freaking works, dude. And I do it all the time. I guess I got to get the
Yeah, I mean
full
that's
circle of this
similar
front.
to
Yeah,
that's similar to what like with me and my supply and demand zones. I mean, I think I'm doing something
exactly.
similar.
I don't want to
What you're doing.
I don't want to
I'm
overcomplicate
putting
it.
it.
Yeah, I don't want to overcomplicate it. I want to be able to trade every day. I don't care where the market's going. I want to identify the auction and where the participants are going and what's going on, and try to form a bias. And then once it's formed, I will look to, like if I have a long bias, I'll look for areas to get long. So people will say, like, if there's a hard pullback, I'll look to get long unless I think now all of a sudden it's changed and we are definitely going short, and we're going short hard for a news event, a report, a tweet, something changed during the day. If that's the case, I'll flip. I can flip easily. But if it's just coming back to do a stop pick or just squeeze the level, I'll look to get in again and enter long, so I get most of the move on the way back up. It's just opportunities that I'm looking for. Most beginning traders I don't think they have the, when the charts start moving, there's a lot of volatility. There's a lot of overwhelming things that go into our minds as humans. It's normal, it's natural, and it's really, really hard if you're a mechanical trader where you're trading a hard system and you've got all these sets of rules, everything has to happen. I need this and this and this and this. By the time you get through your list and you check to make sure that you've got, conviction and everything's lined up, it may be over. So,
Right.
This is just a result of me making it simple to where I can react very quickly. I can jump in with a few contracts. I can add more, and when it's really moving, I'm in and out. I'm scaling in, scaling out. I'm rocking, and it's fun, and I love when it's doing that. So,
no, that's great. I added
that's really
opened a separate. Yeah, no, that's great. I opened a separate window on YouTube just to type in auction market theory. So it'd give me something to study after this. Do you have any particular people you like to follow that maybe teaches auction market theory, or?
Not that comes to mind. I mean, I have a lot of favorite guys. Auction market theory. Well, most of the volume profile and time price opportunity charts, TPO charts, anything volume based, has a lot to do with the auction, because the whole point of using volume and order flow to some degree, I mean, using the dome and the ladder, right? The book, these are all interchangeable words, but using that, you're basically using it to look at, okay, where are there areas on the bid and the offer that has maybe a ton of contracts sitting, whether it's going to be a spoof or whether there's not a lot and it just keeps going like an iceberg is being filled or something. These are all things that are at auction, and the volume is just a reflection of the time and sales, what is sold, what has actually transacted at every particular tick, right? I have a lot of guys that I can get to you after we're done. I can look up, but
Looks like I found quite a few on here.
Once you read some of it, it's kind of like shopping. And
Yeah.
what I tend to do is, when I was first starting out in the late 90s, there was the internet was just a few years old and everything. There was online day trading just started, like 97 or 96, it just started. So I was looking really for guys that I wanted an example of somebody that was actually making money from day trading. I just want to know that it could be done. I heard people that could do it, but I want to know, can it be done if I'm not in Wall Street or in Chicago, which I wasn't. I was on the West Coast, right? So I want to know, can it be done?
Yeah.
Can I make money? And I was really struggling because all you had back then was books. Go in the bookstore. Maybe there was a few blogs and things on the internet, but there wasn't a lot of stuff on the internet yet. There was no YouTube. There was no social media. There was no smartphones. I mean, you had BlackBerry. That's what everyone had back then. I mean, you know those days. So
Yep.
it was really weird how I started my journey, because I didn't know anybody in my family or close to my family that was in the financial services business or anything. So I just wanted to know, can you really make a lot of money doing this? And then once I found some guys, I was like, okay, they seem legit. They're not full of crap. Because I also found a lot of guys that were like, I don't believe any of this stuff. So like my BS meter was like really high, and I'm like, screw these guys. They're full of crap. But then I started to look at, trading and different things. So I read a whole lot of stuff, and my personality is where I just want to immerse myself. So I read I'll read like 10 books in a month, right? And I got a whole lot, and I make notes. I'm not one of those guys that would like highlight pages in a book and go back. I would just write down stuff on a yellow tablet, and then I would type up a Word doc, and I'd save it, and then I'd start to make like an outline. So I would carry that with me. Like I was working a regular career back then, and I was trading at night, and I would just like kind of go over my little list of, these are things to look for, these are important things that so-and-so said, just to learn. But it was weird because in that process of doing that, even though I read all these great books and all these authors had so much wisdom and experience, I kind of developed like my own little way of looking at it. So, several people talked about auction market theory, and I'm sure there's some very theoretical academia type way to describe it. But I basically at some point said to myself, this is how I see auction market theory working for me, trading futures. And all I'm doing is I'm looking at volume profile, and I'm saying to myself, if you've got a point of control, so if you've got a very popular high volume area, this to me says that, like, imagine we're at a grocery store. You and I are at a grocery store, right? We're going shopping for stuff. And you go to, I don't know, there's a big sale at the front on an end cap for some, I don't know, whatever, bags of potatoes. Potatoes are on sale, half off. Everyone's buying these potatoes, right? They're all buying them. Right here, it's popular. And then the store starts to say, well, we're selling out of this, and we don't need to just give it all away at half off. Let's raise the price. Let's give it 20% off. And so as the store is raising the price, less and less potatoes are being sold, but they're still being sold, right? This is what's going on here. Mm-hmm. Then you get to a point where enough of the shoppers are like, we're just not going to buy potatoes today, or we're going to wait, or we're going to go to the store 2 blocks away because they're cheap too. So what happens? The store manager or whatever starts, okay, let's lower the prices again. Prices come down and more people pile in. Oh, we like the prices here. We remember prices were here. So I'm looking at really almost like I could buy one ES contract at this price. And I can buy it at any of these prices. But as it keeps going up here, it's like, I like it and I want to buy it. I'll buy it. But if it comes down and it lets me buy it cheaper, I may buy more, right? And then also sellers, maybe someone bought here and they bought it at $1, an ES contract. Now all of a sudden they're coming up here and it's $1.50. And they're like, cool, I made 50% on my money. I'm going to sell. So then you got a buyer that's here, you got a willing seller, boom. But then if price comes down more, you're just getting more participants. I just look at the auction like that. I know like Coach Paul and I talk about this in the future sessions. And he's right, and I do this too sometimes. I think like an auctioneer. It's like going. Can I get one? Rimming off the prices, right? Prices come down
Yeah.
here, and there's not really much reaction, and because there's buyers here, but there's no selling. No one's selling an ES contract. So what does the auctioneer have to do? Auctioneer has to kind of bring it up, and then all of a sudden you get a little competition because now more buyers get in, and they're starting to buy here. And even though as a buyer you wanted to get in here, you're thinking, oh crap, it may not come down here later today. And if I want to buy this while I'm at this auction, I need to start paying up. So that everyone starts buying, bidding, right? And you're bidding it right back up.
That's a great way of looking
Just
at
kind
it.
of how that's kind of how I look at the whole thing.
Nice.
It's just,
I like
to me,
that. That's
participation.
a great visual. No, that's a great visual, though. I mean, it makes total sense, and never really looked at it like that. But that's a great way of looking at it. It really is.
Yeah. And I want to mention this to yourself, but also to the viewers. It may be a good visual, and maybe it's good, and maybe I explained it in a way that some people can understand it, but there's probably people that don't understand it or don't see it that way, and that's totally fine. This is the beauty about trading. Because I gave an analogy like that or an example, you know how some people say, when you're going to school, back when you were in school, you had some friends or classmates that were like, they didn't have to take notes. They listened to the teacher. They kind of just absorbed it, and they still did like really well on tests. They got like, high B's or A's. It was easy for them. Then you had other kids that had to like take tedious notes and study the notes and really prep for tests. And then you had to like read it, look at their notes, look at the textbooks. And then you had other people that just wanted to listen to it. Well, everyone learns differently. I'm a big visual learner, so I need visuals for me. Some people, you describe something, they're like, aha, and now I get it. What I'm getting at, and I'm rambling, is that with trading, just make it what it is for yourself. Try to relate to it, try to understand it for yourself, because that's all that matters. What I do doesn't have to be exactly what Coach Tiger agrees with, right? And what he does, it doesn't have to suit me either. Doesn't matter. All that matters is for each other, what we're doing. Are we making money? Are we consistent traders? Are we doing what we need to do? Because it's a lonely sport. It's a lonely game. Yeah, it's nice to trade with everybody in these trade rooms and these groups and to get on live. It's awesome. It's fun. And it helps with the camaraderie, and we can bounce ideas off of each other. It's really, really great. But ultimately, I can't reach through the computer screen and grab Coach Tiger's mouse and click enter for him, and he can't do the same for me. We have to do it for ourselves, right? So as you're developing and you're becoming a better trader, and you're starting to see an edge or develop an edge for yourself, and you're starting to make more consistent trades or less losing trades, just develop your own style. That's the best I can give you, but develop your own style.
Yeah.
And who gives a crap what anyone else thinks? Who cares? It's none of their business. They just do what you got to do to make money.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah. No, 100% right. I mean, there's 1,001 ways to trade, right? There's a lot of different ways to make money. And like you said, somebody may completely disagree with what you just went over, but like you said, that's the beauty of trading. That's what makes a market.
Yeah.
There's always going to be somebody thinking price is going to go up. Okay. There's always going to be somebody on the opposite end of that. It's just the way it works.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
And another cool thing is both of them could be right. So like me and Coach Michael in the mornings, we have a lot of trades where he'll show a setup where he's selling whatever currency pair. And it's just so ironic that on a lot of where he's taking profits, I'm on the other end with my alerts getting ready to buy to go up.
Get in. It's set to get it. Yes, exactly.
We have different setups, but he's looking at it from one point of view and I'm looking at it from a different point of view, but we're both right. Because we've had several already where he's gotten into that trade and profited right where I'm looking to get in, and then I take it the other way. So it all depends on your time frames you're looking at and your different types of styles. So you can both be right. It's a zero-sum game, yes, but again, if you're looking at the time zones in different ways and different methods, you can both be right. Profit on the way down, profit on the way up for the other person. So, but yeah, you're exactly right. You got to kind of go ahead.
No, finish your thought. I was just going to add more to what you're saying.
Kind of like what Daryl said. You got to make it your own. You got to take whatever you see easiest. I mean, again, there's many ways to trade. So, definitely don't listen to anybody. If I listened to all the people that were telling me I was wasting my time, I'd probably be out dashing all the time to pay my bills.
Right.
But no, it's definitely worth it. It takes time though. Basics of trading, simple. It's all the nuances that take them time to master, of course. But yeah, just find a strategy and make it your own. That's the best advice. I think Daryl just kind of gave a little bit ago, and don't think you have to do it verbatim.
Yeah, exactly. And you know how you were saying, like, how you and Coach Michael would be like, he may be ready to get out of a trade with a profit and you're looking to get in. And I've experienced this with some of the other coaches too. I also believe, like, you and I could enter, let's say we're both trading the same product. You and I could enter the same trade at the exact same time with different direction. I can enter long, you can enter short, and we could both make money based on based on how long we stay in that trade. Meaning if there's enough rotation, so let's say it starts to go down and you're like, ooh, I'm in the money right away, and you're scalping for like 2 or 3 points and you're out, and I'm holding because let's say I gave it a 5-point stop. I'm holding and I'm waiting to let that, I'm patient because I am a pretty patient trader. I'll let a trade develop. Yeah. I'll set a stop and I'm just let it do its thing. So if I wait, let's say you take your money, I'm waiting for it to come back and now it starts to go in my favor up a few points and I get my money. That's an example of both of us being in the exact same trade and making money. It happens all the time. It's people talk about flipping the coin, right? The 50-50 flip or what have you. You have to think about this. No amount of years of study, years of trading, knowing as much as you friggin' can. I don't care if you're Goldman Sachs, BlackRock, the Citadel, any trade desk in the world, you don't have all the information. No one does because the market is random. There's a lot of randomness in the market. And the participants change every day. Like right now, in this overnight session is, I guarantee you, the participants here are different than the participants from last night's overnight session. And it's different than like a casino. You go to a casino, you're playing blackjack or whatever. Okay, it's the same 52 card deck. They're not adding more cards or taking stuff out. They're not saying, "Oh, we've got some players here that are winning really well. Let's time to change up the dealer. Let's change up the deck. Let's do whatever." They're not doing that. They're sticking to their plan because they have a built-in edge on the games that they offer. And if they have gamblers that come in and sit at their table, then maybe they got a guy in a hot streak and he walks away with $100,000 for the night on blackjack or poker. They're not going to cry and go, "Oh, boo-hoo, we need to change our rules. We need to change how we play." They're just going to keep doing it because they know over time, all the amount of money and all the gamblers that come in their casino, they're going to make so much billions of dollars every year. There's never a casino that goes bust. These casinos know what they're doing because they play an edge. But the difference with the casino and us, let's say you go to a roulette wheel or baccarat or craps or any of these games, they all have a set of rules and there's a set probability. It's always there. The odds and the probability are set because the game does not change. I mean, there may be, based on where you live, you can go to roulette. There may be 2 greens, and then you go to Europe. There's 1 0. There's 2 double zeros in America, and all this. That changes a little, but basically the games don't change. In the market, the games change every freaking minute. You've got more buyers coming in, more sellers coming in, different prices, different amount of contracts, different amount of everything. It changes constantly. So how, as traders, can we develop a consistency to be profitable or give ourselves the best chance to be profitable unless we have some sort of structure in how we trade? So this is why I try to dumb it down as much as I can for my trading, make it simple enough, trade to certain areas so that I can participate as much as possible, because if I'm trying to make it an exact science, it's not going to work for me the way I trade.
You're right. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's all about probabilities and trying to put probabilities in your favor.
It's all it is. It's exactly it.
Perfect example is the euro pound trade I had the other day, right? The big winner I had.
Yeah.
Well, it was chance. At the end of the day, I found a good probability setup and I got into it. But at the end of it, when I was sitting at a 1-to-1, I left it to chance at that point because I didn't know which direction the NFP report was going to push price, right? Nobody did. Right. Until the release happened. Of course. So that very easily could have been a good U.S. report, and that could have dropped me down and stopped me out for a tiny winner. So that's and not to mention we haven't even gotten to like tweets and Truth Social posts and how that throws a big wrench in things.
That's
so yeah, you got your fundamental reports.
Those tend to do the most damage.
Yeah,
those things come in and oh my God, it's worse. It's worse than a planned FOMC or anything else that's going on. It's just like, oh my Lord, they come out of nowhere. Yeah, it's like in your area, a tornado. It's like a tornado just pops out of nowhere. Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I love days where we don't have fundamental reports. That you can typically just trade strictly off pure supply and demand at that point. But yeah, those are the times when we typically get a tweet that throws a wrench in everything, thinking you got a day of easy trading, not easy, but simpler trading with all the reports.
I know what you mean. You're looking and you're like, oh, there's not. We don't have anything scheduled to report. Everything's done. It's going to be pretty quiet. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, like 40 minutes later, you're just like, what the hell happened?
Yeah. I mean, love him or hate him, like some of these prime ministers, President Trump, I got a Truth Social account just so I can watch his tweets because everything he does or says.
Just track him. Yeah, exactly.
Love it or hate it is gonna move prices. So, that's become its own secondary indicator these days, along with, GDP and inflation reports and all that. You got to have the Trump tracker. It's funny because the Financial Juice service we use has a Trump schedule off to the right. Yeah, because people are getting smarter. So it's smart to follow these people that move markets.
Absolutely.
Throat's getting a little dry today.
So everybody in the chat, we're about 1 minute away from announcing our winner of our $25,000 challenge account. So stay tuned. Like I said, we're about a minute away. We're just putting the final wraps on it. And both Coach Tiger and I will be announcing this. So hold on to your britches, as they say.
Hold on to the knickers. Top dog Sally, how many 300 games have I pulled? I think I'm at 10. Or no, 10 or 11. I lost count. I got a few rings. I've lost more rings than I even have these days. They give you a ring whenever you bowl a perfect game. Or they used to give it to you every time. But, bowling has just gotten so much simpler with the technology they put in bowling balls that the 300 game isn't what it used to be, put it that way. There's just so many of them, throughout the years. So,
really?
Yeah, I got a ring on the first few, but then they started saying, okay, now we're going to pass out one ring per year. So I have a habit of losing my ring.
Nice.
John 316 took me a long time to be profitable.
Yeah, a long time. It took me a long time, years and years, man. But I got to tell you, if I had the tools that you guys have today, I would have been far more profitable faster. Yeah. I was trading in the dark. Back then I was trading in the dark. I mean, I was doing everything on my own. Yeah, I was just trying everything to see what stuck and what didn't. I didn't know what I didn't know, So it took me a lot longer. I'm serious. It took me to be really consistently profitable 5 or 6 years. But I was working. I had a very high paying career. I wasn't stressed to make money. Like I wasn't forcing my trades to live on at that point. I had a young family and stuff, but I wasn't like, it wasn't like scary. I was just trading at night, comfortable, trial and error, trying to figure things out. I gave myself a long runway. So maybe that helped,
Yeah. And I
anyway,
always had
so
jobs
let's
getting in my way.
Sorry. No, finish your thought and then we'll get to the announcement here then.
Yeah, the jobs always got in my way too. I was kind of comfortable, so didn't really push as hard at the beginning. But let's give something away, Daryl. What do you think?
Let's do it. I think we should do it. This is a cool name too. This is one of these names where I'm kind of jealous of someone that's got a name that entails two first names. No, it doesn't really do that, but this is a very cool name because it's nice and clean and simple. The winner. Let's get a little drum roll here if we can. Of our $25,000 challenge account giveaway is none other than the Peter Smith.
Peter.
Way to go, Peter.
Peter Smith.
Way to go, Peter. We gotta get our little trophy popping up here.
Yeah, you got it.
Where is Peter?
Salute, like on the cartoons.
They gotta do it.
The
we gotta do it. Bingo! There we are. Nice.
Congrats, Peter.
Way to go, Peter Smith.
Good stuff.
Good job, my friend.
Been passing them out like hotcakes, Daryl. We see a lot of these names. They were just everybody's winners on here. It's getting to that point.
Everybody's winners, man. Most everybody. So, Peter, just hold tight. We'll have the support team reach out to you via email with instructions and how to activate your account, but you'll be set up here in no time. So we appreciate everyone for participating, those that are here. And if you haven't won yet, don't fret because we're on live TV all day tomorrow. We've got segments with Forex Fire with Coach Tiger very early here in the U.S., and we go all the way through the day until the evening like we are right now. So many chances for giveaways in all of our segments. And John 3:16, you're asking what prop firm do we use? Well, we have to answer Hola Prime, of course. That's the best prop firm, and that is who we use. So I'm being a little facetious, but it is who we use.
Yeah, we're a little biased.
The prop.
Not a prop.
Yeah. Now I want to see, did Peter leave? Because Peter, if you're here, Peter, you can get a confirmation in the chat. Otherwise, no sweat. Either way, we're going to reach out to you because we've got your email.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. We
were starting to kind of answer. Yeah, we were starting to answer question. I think you answered about financial juice, right? With the no sleep narrator asking when handling futures, what news sources do you keep your eye on? And I look at a lot of stuff, even though I only trade the ES, which is the S&P 500. It's the Project X platform. Yeah, I'm still sharing here. Cool. We've got this nice little feature in the Trader Hub here that has all the market news, which we source in from Financial Juice. So that's Financial Juice. It's excellent. You can stay up to date on everything. You can go up to a week to see all, and you can annotate it, make notes. It's pretty cool. So you could use that. But I use other stuff too. I mean, I'm always looking at earnings. So, there's all kinds of free stuff out there that you can set yourself up with. But like I also use trading economics for news and for events and scheduling. I look at Kiplinger for all of my earnings every day. Keep up to date on that. I don't trade cryptos, but I still look at CoinMarketCap because I'm interested in seeing just kind of how things are moving around. Again, all these things kind of affect the S&P in some way. And so I'm interested, even though I don't trade them, I'm interested. I like to know what's going on, where things are at.
I gotta say, I love Financial Juice. I mean, I didn't even know about it or hear about it till I started coaching here at Hola Prime.
Oh, okay.
We got access to it. I mean,
I've been using them for like 10 years. They're the best I found. I used to use others, but then when I found them, I'm like, they're the best.
Yeah, no, I'm loving it a lot. I mean, FX Street in the currency world is obviously one of the top ones. FXStreet.com,
for FX,
Forex Factory. Yeah. That's really the two main ones. I mean, there's some other smaller ones, but that was really the two biggest ones. I have a lot of other different assets saved in my trading folder as far as websites. I'll jump on to here and there. Forex Live, that's another good one. But yeah, I'm going to be honest. Financial Juice is my favorite one now because it pretty much incorporates a lot of these other ones, FX Street, Forex Live. So
it does.
Others, so
and I think that's why Project X has it, because it's so encapsulating. You can get a lot of it, in one screenshot. You can see probably 90% of what you need to know.
Yeah. I mean, and I have all these, a lot of this stuff saved. Like when I turn my computer on and open it up, I mean, it automatically pops up with my X platform, because I use my X platform strictly for news. And that's it. Strictly for the Forex news I like to look at. I don't use it to socialize with anybody on there, talk to friends or anything like that. That's what I got Forex for.
Right.
So I literally only follow specific people, presidents, prime ministers, central banks, all the nerdy stuff, right? And then it opens automatically to President Trump's truth profile, just because I want to see what he's chatting. And then Financial Juice, and then Forex Factory, and then my Edge Finder software where I get my top setups. So that's it. That stuff popping up immediately. That's always the first thing I see. I think that's the main ones. Yeah. People laugh at me. They're like, "Gosh, you got 1,000 windows open when you turn your computer on." I'm like, "Yeah, it saves time, and that way I don't have to go
1,000.
One of them.
I have a million things open on 4 screens, and but that's why I have so much RAM in my tower also.
Yeah, well,
so I can operate all this stuff.
It's like a $4,000 laptop I got with a really big discount at one of the places I was working a few years ago. It's a ThinkPad, but it's like a really, really, really good laptop. I got it because all my Windows, when I opened it on my old laptop, was slowing everything down. So I had to upgrade the laptop.
I did the same. I actually built mine. I built mine during COVID because I was bored. Well, I mean, I wasn't bored. I just had a lot of time. I was trading, but I had a lot of time. Yeah. So I never had built anything before. And I bought a motherboard. I bought the chip. I bought everything. I built the whole damn thing. And I'm not a computer tech guy, but I followed a lot of this on YouTube. There's all these pretty good, tutorials on how to build one. And I like to tinker and build stuff anyway. So I built a pretty badass, powerful one. I think it's got 32 gigs of RAM, and it's freaking.
I need you to build me one.
It's a Threadripper, like 64 core AMD. This thing, freaking. And so I'm running all these 4K monitors and everything off of it, and I have my internet fiber is like a gig, and I don't have any issues with anything. But most people come over and they're like, "How does your computer not crash?" And I'm like, "It's like." I spent a lot of money on the good stuff to keep it running, but I need this open. Yeah. I could not trade with one screen or a laptop like that. You probably have like other screens ported in the back or something, right?
I just have one. Laptop. Yeah, I've got a laptop with 1 HP monitor, and I need more. I'm tired of it. I'm wanting to get a trading station. I'm probably going to upgrade really, really soon. Because I need at least 4 to 6 monitors for everything I look at. I can make it happen on my.
It helps, especially what we're doing.
It's to the point where, especially with just simply using this platform or Zoom, and now we got the VMix.
Yes.
Everything I'm following. Yeah. I'm going to probably do that starting this next check, to be quite honest with you, get starting to build on it.
That's great.
I've already kind of priced it out at Micro Center. We have a Micro Center here in Kansas City, so we get on it. What else we got?
And John 316 is asking, does it integrate with TradingView? I think you mean, does Financial Juice integrate? I think they integrate with everybody. They even have like you can drop them into a Discord server for your group if you want and stuff. They do everything. And Project X, which we're using here, is basically like the TradingView, isn't it? Kind of thing. It's very close to it, I think. Like a lot of the operation. I don't know. I don't use TradingView. Yeah.
So, like I have GUI trades for Forex. So
you're using. That's right. You're not using Project X. That's right.
No. No, but I'm probably going to jump into it because I do want to kind of jump into some futures as well.
And Mr. No Sleep narrator, he doesn't have to claim it. Peter's going to get it anyway because we're going to email him. But I
Hey,
appreciate your zealousness and your eagerness to win. But hey,
yeah, it does
trust
hurt
me,
to
man.
ask.
Come back and join any of these segments. We've got
Yeah.
so many segments, and we're
If you
live a
show up,
lot, almost not quite around the clock.
yeah, 3 a.m. Central Standard Time here in the U.S. I'll be back on for 4 hours. So come back on, man.
Yeah.
I see your name. Just throw me a wink or something. I'll remember your name. We did get
Blow him
a
a
final
kiss.
result.
Tiger likes that.
Yeah. we did get a final results of the poll question we had. How do you handle a losing trade? So you've got
Oh
walk away and
yeah.
chill, which got 18%, analyze and journal it is 64%. Nobody answered the try to win it back immediately. So that's good. We don't have anybody chasing. That's awesome.
Good. That's good. Agreed.
Retaliation trades, right? Or 18% stare
Right.
at the chart in disbelief. So what's your thoughts on that, Daryl? How do you handle a losing trade?
I answered analyze and journal it, but
Yeah, same thing I did.
and what I usually do, because I record, like in my cash account, I record the whole session. I record my trades, so I'm able to play everything back, and I will go back and I'll replay all my trades. And so whether I made a good trade or a bad trade, I get to see it all and spend some time pondering what I could have done better or worse and all those kinds of stuff.
Well, the funny thing is,
what do you
whenever
do?
I have
I know you like to try to revenge trade and go right back in, Tiger. I know you do.
Yeah.
Don't deny it.
I don't.
You just didn't want.
In the
You just
past,
want to click the button on the poll. Oh, in the past,
So
I did it all the time. I did it all the time in the past.
No, it's funny though, because
I used to.
when I don't know about everybody else, but when I have a losing trade, I immediately know why. Because it's very easy when we're looking at a setup to look at maybe one thing that isn't quite looking the way you want. Like for me, I got to have volume pumping up. I got to have obviously hit a supply or demand zone. I got to have a rejection candle in that zone. It's got to be engulfing or a wick or a tail with that volume. So anytime I and also the zones that I'm looking to trade from, I need to see that it was strong enough to break through a previous level on the opposite end. So basically break a structure, right? There's times where one of those rules I'll let slip just a little because everything else is looking good, Daryl. All my other pieces are looking good. This trade should work out. But then, as soon as that trade loses, I immediately know why. And I immediately call myself out. You dummy, you didn't get the volume spike. You dummy, you traded a currency pair that was in a neutral territory or a counter trend. So your gut tells
when you're starting out, when you're starting out, you don't know those kind of things. You do it, you know it now because you've been trading so long and but it's tough for new traders to not want a revenge trade because you're just like, dang it, let me get it back.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So yeah. Sorry, looking at that through a newer person's lens, I would just say this: don't jump on the train of strategy hopping. We talked about this, me and Coach Paul, I think, a little bit last night, and even in our morning session this morning. But strategy hopping is not always the way to go. I mean, if you have a decent strategy, just give it time. Give it a good, whatever, a few weeks, couple months, 3 to 6 months is a number I heard from a mentor of mine a long time ago. Just give it some time because you got to learn the characteristics. You don't know what you don't know yet about that strategy. You might know the basics, but it's like I said earlier, it takes time to master and get good at all the nuances of trading, right? Supply and demand for me. I mean, I learned the basics in one day, but it took me years to really figure out all the nuances. And, just told myself I did not want to give up on that because, well, that's what I was taught. I paid big money to go to an online trading academy to learn that. So when the times got tough, I just was like, all right, well, I paid good money for this class, so there's got to be something to it. And these guys were, just super good at explaining things. But no matter how good somebody explains something to you, you won't really truly learn your lesson until you go out and do the actions yourself. So when you go out and you do those actions, you lose a couple trades. Please don't strategy hop. That's one of the biggest things that I think ruins and wrecks people's trading careers is they just don't give it the time of day that it deserves, whatever the strategy is. So if you take one thing out of what I say all night tonight, just just do that. Just learn everything you can about that strategy. It's not a strategy unless there's some validity to it. You can make almost any strategy work. Again, it just depends on your time frames. Right. It depends on the market structure, the cycle, the fundamentals, right? What the big banks are doing. So it just takes time to really put all those pieces together. So give it a chance. Give love a chance to Coach Daryl.
Keep singing, brother. I think, though, in fairness, with what you're saying, I agree. But when you're new to this, again, you don't know what you don't know, and I can see why people would strategy hop, because okay, maybe someone's strategy is got a certain win ratio, or you can make X percent relatively consistently. But then we're human and we're thinking, okay, but what if I tweak it? Or what if I go to this guy's strategy? Maybe it's better because I want to make more money. We're all the same. I did this because I wanted to make more money. The only reason I trade is because I want to make money. I mean, I'll be the first to admit it. We have to live. We have to make money. So yeah, I'm doing it to make money. I'm not doing this for charity, really. But
right.
You don't know what you don't know. So
That's
you
true.
can try different things, but stay open to things that resonate within you. So go back to it. So to your point, Tiger, go back if it's something where you think this seems to make more sense to me. This is easier. And maybe if you refine it and get consistent, maybe your results will be better or not, but it's certainly better than losing your account, losing all your money, losing your investment, losing whatever you have. And we all certainly cannot get back the lost time. So As I've been going on, I want to reference Polar Square in the chat. So Matt, you're saying there's selling pressure on the S&P. You were watching this coming down. You're probably looking at my stop going, what the hell is he doing? Why is he sitting in this damn thing? Well, because there was 400 contracts at the 63.86, and I saw it. I saw it there. And I said to myself, okay, sellers could eat through the buyers here and absorb and go through it. And it still may do that, but it came down through and it's holding. And I'm looking for a reversion back up and maybe scratch my trade at this point, because clearly it's not doing what I want it to do, at least not in the next 12 minutes, probably before we're off the air, which topped out here. You could say it's a double top. This is a 1 minute. So if you zoomed out, it wouldn't be a double top necessarily. Mm-hmm. But I still think we're heading for 6,400. We may even get there before we open up in the morning in New York. And I'll let my trade develop, like I said. And I typically do a 5-point stop. So if it hits me here, this is the 4-point stop, and I'm cool.
Let it do its thing.
I'm willing to lose the money. You have to let it do its thing, man. I know a lot of people get uneasy and squirmish, like, oh no, I better flatten right now because I don't want to see any worse. Well, I just been trading for so long that I just have areas where there's higher probabilities of something happening or not. And again, if it's going to take me out here, then it's got to work to come down, and it did. It came very close, but thus far it hasn't. So we'll see if we get a reaction here. Buyers step in. It looks like they're holding that level at the 86.5, and maybe we'll get up here. So that was just a little side comment on that. I'm not picking on you. I don't know if you were making that comment just to like have me watch out or pay attention or whatever. But yeah, no, there was pressure. There's always pressure from one end or the other.
Pressure. Push it down.
You're singing Queen? Good job, man.
Yeah.
Way to go.
My favorite song ever. I actually recorded it. It's on YouTube. Yeah, I created a channel a long time ago. Yeah, I created a.
Do you play an instrument or you just sing?
No,
do you sing?
Just carpool karaoke.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
Tiger and the Tunes.
I had a lot of downtime during COVID, so I put together a playlist.
Yep.
Trading, and that was it. Yeah, couldn't do my work at the time.
What happened at COVID? Why did people have downtime? Everyone says that. I'm not quite sure what happened. Can you enlighten me?
Well, I was doing medical transport at the time, And yeah, we lost
were
about
you
80% of
before
patients.
before COVID?
Right, well, when COVID happened, yeah, we lost about 80%.
Oh
So
man.
there you go, 80%. Of
Oh
course, all my trading accounts are wrapped up in accounts, so I didn't want to touch them. So I had to do a lot of
no,
DoorDash and just to
right.
pay the bills, right? But
Oh yeah, yeah. Everyone did a lot of
yeah,
that back then.
yep, good stuff. Slanging the food, slanging the food.
All right, let's
Yeah,
see more questions. I love it. Keep up the
yeah.
activity in the chat. No sleep narrator. What's your average profit percentage in a week? So mine's big. I aim to make 10% a week on my cash account. It's a lot of money.
Heck yeah.
But I try to. I try to. It doesn't always work out that way, but I try to. And if I hit it, then usually I'll stop. If I hit that on Thursday, I won't trade on Friday in my cash account.
Nice.
Because I want to preserve, I want to preserve it. But I mean, well, I will say this. Looking at percentages is probably the way to do it. That's how the professionals do it. They don't talk in terms of dollars or pips or ticks or any of this. It's percentage. And if you're going to grow an account, a small account, these prop accounts are small. And people may say, why are they small? I can get 100,000, 150,000, 300,000, whatever. Yeah, but you're not trading with all that money. You got a daily loss limit. You've got a drawdown limit, and you're out. So maybe you're trading with $3,000 or $4,500 of real money. You have to look at it as that's your account, right? So it's a small account. To me, anything less than 20,000 is a small account. So you could trade. I could trade a $10,000 account with my broker in the ES, and I could probably make 50% a day for a while because I can make 5,000 a day trading one ES contract. I've done it so many times, and so I could do it. That's me. I'm not saying anything about anybody else. That's just me and me doing it this long and my ability and knowing how to trade this product. So you could sit there and go, holy smokes, man, 50% a day. If you just do that for a month, you're going to have $1 million. Yeah, but you don't do that. You got it. Now you start, okay, you take 10,000 and maybe you made 15,000 at the end of the week. Okay, next week you're going to say, maybe I'll try to make 2% on it, right? Or something. You got to pare it back because it's not like you're going to be making 50 or whatever a week. I try to get like 2% a day and 10% a week if I can do it. So that's how I look at that.
Heck yeah. Yeah. I don't really dig too deep into that myself. I mean, like, I know last week was like 1%.
Most people don't.
Something like that. I don't really get it.
Most people don't
I spend
look at it.
Yeah. Some people it might motivate. Some people it might freak out. Like, oh my gosh, I haven't gotten to this number yet this week or this month, and then they overtrade. So I try to just.
I used to suffer from that.
Yeah.
I used to suffer from that too.
And so those are stats I don't have readily available.
No, it's good.
Like
that's okay.
Last week was 1%. I mean, I know that because it's simple math.
Yeah. Thanks. No sleep narrator. Yeah, man. It's all about capital preservation, right? It's the name of the game, really. You want to be here tomorrow. You don't want to blow up yourself and say, oh, I can't show up and trade, and tomorrow may be a good day for you. You want to be able to come back. So you don't want to just be foolish with it.
Yeah, and Coach Darrell mentioned it perfectly. Like he said, if you get X amount by Thursday, you don't trade Friday. So, I mean, just like you can, revenge trade, you can do the opposite after you've won 2 or 3 or 4 in a row. You can think you're untouchable.
Most definitely.
That's probably just as important as versus losing 3 or 4 trades. You win a few trades. Hey, take your wins and don't trade anymore. Some people need that because then you're going to go double your risk. Oh, I'm untouchable. So just keep that in mind.
There's a couple ways there's a couple ways to handle what you just said, which is something that I also can suffer from. Where and look, you guys heard me talk about randomness a while ago about how I look at the market. to me, there's randomness and there's an air of luck in this too. If you happen to just, let's say you're starting to trade at the beginning of your session and you happen to do very well, you maybe $500 or $1,000 a day is a good number for you, and you've made it for whatever reason. I always say, hey, I'm glad the market gave me the opportunity to make it. I just extracted it from the market. It's really not me doing it. Yes, there's some stuff I'm doing, but the market also has to work in my favor. So don't push your luck and keep thinking, oh, I'm unstoppable. This is all me. I'm going to up my size, or I'm going to really push, because now if I made 1,000 so easily, and there's many more hours in the session, I could keep going. That's when it's going to smack you, and you're probably going to give away all your gains and more. So if you want to keep trading, if you really have it in you where you got the bug, do one of two things. If you're trading a mini, you can switch to a micro contract and trade that. You can still make some money. You can still trade one little micro MES, and you're making $5, $5 a point. So yeah, it's 1/10. Yeah. So you could still trade and make $50 and add another $50 or $75 or whatever. That's cool to your winnings. Or you can also sim trade or paper trade and just do it like you're doing it, but you're not playing with real money. And the last thing I'll say is, you can just, if you don't want to switch to a micro, or you're already trading micros, lower your position sizing, and that way, you can't get hurt. If you start losing a bunch and you're giving a little bit back, then call it and say, I'm done. But
yeah, if you got to scratch the itch, just be smart about it.
If you got to scratch the itch, yes.
Got to get your fix. Got to get your fix. Yep.
Past last pivot point at 63.14 zone. The past last pivot point at 63.14 zone. So maybe short goes to that price. Oh, if it goes down to 63.14, yeah, that's where we were, Matt. That's where we were earlier today, I think it was. Let me see. It was like 13-ish, 14, 13 area. You're right.
14, yeah.
Well, today, low of today was, it was yesterday. Low of today wasn't there. It was yesterday. Yeah.
Yep.
So exactly. So that's good. Very observant. And that's how I use the profile as well. Because I'll look at where, so it's only 8 o'clock for me now. I'm on the West Coast, and it's 10 o'clock for Coach Tiger. But tomorrow morning when I wake up early and I get to my trading desk and I get ready, I'm going to look at what happened for the remainder of the overnight and into London session, right? And I want to see not only what it did, but were other areas tested or retested, or did it, come down to any level? These are all things that I use with the volume profile, and it's just more ammunition for me to get organized and prepared for the trading day tomorrow. So it's great that you mentioned that, because those are very key areas, and I will pay attention. If market starts selling hard tomorrow and it comes down to there, you could damn well guarantee I will be paying attention to that. So great job pointing that out.
Good stuff. Yeah. And I'll be checking that second hour of the European market myself, since I'll be getting up early. Actually, I don't even usually.
Yes,
I usually lay down. Like here in about an hour and a half, I'll probably lay on my bed for like an hour and a half, just enough to close my eyes and relax for a little bit. But then I get right back up at 2, which is when the European market starts, 2 o'clock Central. And make my news piece and get ready for 3 o'clock. So it's always fun to see how the European markets open up. It's new.
And
it's brand new to me.
It's new.
This is normally what
I know. I was going to say, you're learning a lot, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
even the Asian.
Well, thanks for being here. And once again, congratulations, Peter Smith.
Congrats
for,
again,
winning. And I see that he got the memo. He's got
there he
explosives and hundreds here. So great job, Peter Smith, on winning the $25,000 account.
Good stuff.
If you didn't hear me earlier, Ola Prime will be reaching out to you via email with instructions on how to activate that. So keep an eye out. And for the rest of you, have a good morning wherever you are. Have a good evening. Good night. And Coach Tiger and I will catch you guys on the other side. Happy trading. Good luck to all.
That's right.
See you, Tiger.
I'll be back in 5 hours,
Have a good night, my friend.
See you, Daryl.
Got it, buddy. See you, buddy.
Bye.
Hola.